I sent Aisha, well, I sent the gang this video that I came across, and it was entitled "Do High Value Men Cheat?" Or rather, it says high value men do not cheat. Now, what I was going to ask the guys is, what do you consider high value? But they took it another way, you know. But I was going to ask them, what is considered high value? Because, see, to me, if a man is going to cheat, they're going to cheat. I don't care how high value, and I will admit, I did say at first that all men cheat, and I was wrong because my brother-in-law heard me, and I was wrong to say all men cheat. All men do not cheat. But what defines a high value man? That's what I really want to know. What defines a high value man?
Okay. Aisha, what's your definition of a high value man before I rip somebody a new asshole?
I would consider a high value man to be one of honor, dignity, reliable, trustworthy, all the things that a man should have: a protector, a provider, a good father, a good son, respectful, just like all around the board, a good man with every good quality that he could have.
Okay, now do both of y'all believe that a high value men cheat?
Hey, I'm sorry, I just noticed the tape on Nell's face.
Nell's paired already, y'all. Nell's paired already, y'all. But it's all good. Let me ask the ladies. Do y'all think all high value men cheat?
I mean, as I said, and I was wrong when I first said it, that all men cheat. I was totally wrong. Most men and women cheat. I'm quite sure. What is a high value man? I'm assuming that what Aisha said, a high value man is a man who value his family, who put his family first. My brother-in-law broke it down to me. Um, when I made a statement about a man like to keep their yard, looking great, that seemed to be a secret competition between men. And he told me, he said, that is because a man is judged by the look of his garden. Now, that can go with the family and all. And a man who makes sure that his garden, not just exterior, but interior, is taken care of, that's a high value man, I guess. If I put him as a high value man, then no, they do not cheat.
Okay. Let me see how I can break this down eloquently for y'all. So they have this saying of men cheat, as far as their options, right? Y'all heard that before,
Okay.
Right? Nobody's never heard
I just figured they cheat because they want to.
So nobody's never heard this before?
I've heard the statement, yes.
Okay, so it's said that men cheat, up to their options. If they have the options, if they have the money, if they have, the excess, that's how they cheat.
Oh, okay. That's how that goes.
But do women ever question why he cheated? Like, do they ever ask themselves why he cheated, or they just think he's a dirty dog? Like, do y'all ever ask?
And now, see, I don't disagree with you on that. I really don't.
Let me see if I can make a question mark. This is a question. Do y'all ever ask yourselves why the man cheated?
Yeah, absolutely. I think every woman thinks it. Whether she admits it or not, that's one thing. But I think every woman thinks of, why did he cheat? What did I do? All right, now I see you. Tape's coming off.
All right, hold on. All right, hold on. And more than half of y'all not even going to ask yourselves why the man cheated. But even after the man cheated, do you ever ask yourself what did I learn from him cheating?
Who in the hell gonna learn from
Here
somebody
we
cheating
go.
on them?
Here we go. Here we go. KD.
But see, that question for me is kind of weird, and I think we talked about this a little bit at the meeting. Everything that a man does, let's just say if he cheats, is not necessarily. I never look at it as a reflection of me.
Right.
Sometimes I will think about, dag, what didn't I do, or what wasn't I fulfilling for him, whether it was sexually, mentally, whatever. I do think of that sometimes, yes. However, most of the time, I never look at it as a self-inflection of me.
Right.
People are human. They do what they're going to do, and they do what is going to satisfy them at that point in time. So if an encounter comes and a man cheats, well, 9 times out of 10, it's human nature. He's not thinking of home necessarily. He's thinking with the little man down below. And so therefore, that's him making that decision, and that's his way of thinking, not necessarily what I didn't do as a woman. So I don't necessarily think that I reflect to what I didn't do.
Okay. So a high value man wouldn't think about cheating, as his first choice because he cares about the optics. So a high value man values the optics of his whole situation. So he doesn't want to lose his family. He doesn't want to have drama, when it comes to his business. A high value man would be too busy to even cheat. And even in that note, have you ladies ever asked yourself, if I drained him and fed him, what would he have left to cheat with? Have you ever even exercised this option?
Well, see, I had to think way back now, y'all. Y'all know I had to think way back now. Y'all forget I was married for too long, but I had to think way back, and I think anyone, as soon as you find out that you have been cheated on, that's going to be the first question: is why? What's wrong with me? That's going to be your first train of thought. Why? What's wrong with me? So
Right,
I
but
guess any woman that's going to
do you
question.
have that conversation with the guy? A lot of girls have that conversation with themselves instead of having it with the guy.
Well,
Like
I
you
would
mean,
suggest they have it with the guy. I mean,
yeah,
What do
you mean
you
like asking him why he cheated?
Right.
I think anger,
Hold
and
on,
I think
hold on. What is up with all the quietness when I'm asking these questions? Like, what is
well, my
happening?
thing is, I doubt if I'm going to be around long enough to even find out that answer.
KD, you have to learn so this won't happen again. This is a part of the process. This is why people don't know what's going on.
Learn after this bastard done cheated on me. Yeah,
Right.
I learned to get my ass away.
Right. You have to learn why. You have to learn why. You don't want to keep making these same mistakes. It could have been like
But
it could
what?
be
But
anything.
what went wrong with him? T doesn't necessarily mean that it would be wrong for the next person.
No,
You
I'm not
all don't
saying
do things the same as being wrong.
that that's necessary for the next person. What I'm saying is if you were distracted or whatever the case may be, anything can happen, but you're not paying attention to him. You're not fulfilling his needs, but you might not be thinking about that at the time. So if you don't have these conversations, you don't know that you weren't present. So if you're not present for this, what do you expect him to do? He's still a man.
And that go both ways, right?
Right.
I mean,
I,
that's just in any relationship, period. I do agree with you. I
I have a,
totally agree.
I have a question. What's the definition of a high value man? Or what's the definition of high value?
well, I think that's all on perception. Like what
Right.
we consider high value could be different from me to you to Karen to T. You know what I mean? But I think at the core of it, it is just all of the things that we believe um, are of high quality. meaning honest person.
Yeah, I think it's going to be different for everybody. Hold on, now they talking crazy to us in the comments. Hold on.
They talk,
Crazy to us in the
but I
comments.
just see you got to ask these type of questions because
That's what I'm saying.
as Aisha just said, from the question that was posed, what's high value is always going to depend upon the person that it lays on, which what may be high value you might not be high value to me or her or them. What might be constituting as cheating to this person, they might not consider that as being a cheating act.
Right.
So we always have to do our due diligence to sit down and have conversations. I hate. Time and time again, do we always use this? I don't have to talk to this person. I shouldn't have to ask. I shouldn't have to sit down. Why not? Well, everybody is different. You're learning two different people. Two different people are coming together and interacting as one. So why not have a conversation and find out what's the right way to what's the wrong way? Because you might say it's cheating, I might not think it is until you tell me exactly what your definition of cheating is. And people might take it the wrong way and say, well, you should know you grown, right? Cheating to me could just mean intercourse. Cheating to you could mean me talking to other people, social media or on the phone or whatever, right? So it's all about that. It's all about conversing, conversation, communication, not that big C that we think that we need to leave out, right? High value is high value. Everybody has value, right? Your value should always be high. All of us are, right? We always want to castrate the man for doing something when we never really truly understood what the problem was in the first place. Plus, every individual is going to do what they want to do, regardless if that other person likes it or not. That's the beauty of being an individual. Right. You do not hold, no one else holds anything over you but you. So if you have morals inside, and it's off of that.
No, hold on. I have to address some of these people. Hold on.
Hold up. I hate when I hate.
Hold on now. Let me handle this right here. This one right here.
You got to put his tape back on.
He said, just leave if you're not happy. And that's an easy statement to make. You might not want to leave. You might have a family with this person. You might love this person. You might have business with this person. Just because you cheated, that don't mean that you want to leave them. That just means that they wasn't handling their business, or maybe you are just being greedy. You have to understand who you're dealing with at the time. You have to understand who you're dealing with. And I'm going to tell y'all, as a younger man, I was running the streets and I was wild. But as an older man, don't nobody got time to be chasing these girls and dealing with all that dilly bullshit. Like, so when you're at home, if both parties handle their business and can have these adult, honest conversations, there won't be time or energy for cheating. Like, how about that?
Yeah. I second that. As a young man, we did what we did. We did whatever we did. But at a certain point, you settle the fuck down because you tired. The streets don't mean nothing. Running with a bunch of women don't mean nothing. People want to be people. If people value you or see value in you,
whoa,
they see value in you.
Whoa, hold on. Let's see this one right here. Ebony says there's no conversation in cheating. If you feel that you need something with someone else you can't do with me, then that's a problem. That is a problem if you're not communicating these things. Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
When you do communicate these things and your partner still doesn't oblige. Like, what happens when you do communicate these things that your partner still doesn't oblige? That don't mean you want to leave them. That just means that you still have needs. I don't understand why people don't understand that. It's a real thing.
What's the first thing that these people say when women say when they want to get together? I want to communicate. But then you shut down the communication. Y'all don't think y'all got to communicate. Oh, I shouldn't have to communicate my feelings. Oh, I shouldn't have to tell you how to love me. I shouldn't have to teach you. I shouldn't have to talk to you about this. You should. Because if you want something to go your way, Tell a person what it is you want, how you want it, and it's going to give it. If they're going to give it to you, they're going to give it to you. If they're not, then you know what you got to do. Stop
Well,
being blind.
communication is key. Now, I do agree with that.
And then
Communication is key.
conversation earlier, right?
Hold,
All right,
hold on now. Hold on now. There's still other people that need to be addressed. Hold on. So Barb says you can do everything and they still will if they want to. Yes, Barb, that is true. That is true. Some men are still dirty dogs. I'm not going to hide the fact that that is a true thing, but you have to understand who your man is. That's all that is. You have to understand who you're dealing with. If you know that he's a dirty dog, then you know that. These are not things that you wouldn't know. Like, you would know what it is. That's you would know. You know what it is. Some people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was saying earlier, right? I was just saying, I had this conversation earlier. Let's say somebody does cheat. Let's say your mate does cheat on you, right? Are you willing to forgive him, or are you just gonna walk away?
That's what I'm saying. No, I hate when I see all the women saying, if somebody ever cheated on me, I would just leave. That's bullshit. Where's the game at? Somebody bring the
you know why it's bullshit? Because
99% of y'all lying.
99% of y'all lying.
There's
Just
a million people that been cheated on and stayed. So cut it out.
Not even because y'all dumb,
right?
Because
you love them.
Not even because y'all digmatized, but because you're in love. And it's hard to walk away from somebody that easily when you're in love. You know why? Because emotions are still tied into it. You're still going to feel their cost, even if you're upset. You're still gonna want to hear from them, even if you're upset, even if you got an attitude. You're still going to some way somehow communicate with them. You're not just fully walking away. Nobody truly is. So why deprive yourself of being with somebody that you love because they cheated? If you'll both come to the understanding of, yo, that shit was wrong, and they say, yo, it won't happen again, and you truly understand and believe that, then why walk away from somebody that you built these feelings and love for? It's not that easy. And I hate when I see people say, I'm gonna walk away, because no, you're not.
Yes.
It's not. That's not real.
Okay, how do y'all know they wouldn't? Okay, I think that depends
Because I
on
know people
how.
that's getting cheated on. I know people that got cheated on, and they can sit up in comments because it sounds good to their girlfriend, it look good to the public, and they still fucking with the nigga.
Right.
That's how I know.
Well, maybe that's some cases with some of them, and I'm sure that, like you say, they won't walk away. But I won't say not every woman is like that, because we spoke of the Miss Chalet thing. We was talking about red flags.
Yeah,
that's a red flag for me.
Let's red flag this, and I am not by any means saying this is acceptable. Please, this is a public service announcement on the comment I'm about to make. You get cheated on, you walking away. That's what y'all say, right?
Hold on now. Let me ask the ladies the question. So Aisha and KD, can y'all answer this question that Ebony's talking about? If a man cheats on you, does that mean that he doesn't love you?
No, that doesn't mean he doesn't love you.
I hate when people say that bullshit. That don't mean that he don't love you.
No. He could very much be in love with you.
Right.
And there's a disconnect somehow. Right. And he decided to, get fulfilled somewhere else. But that doesn't take away his love for you. At least I don't think so. I think he still very much can love you, be in love with you, and still want to be with you, but had just decided to, step out for whatever the reason may be. But I do find it important that men also communicate their lack, whatever they're lacking. I feel like it shouldn't be one-sided. I don't want to talk to you after you've cheated if you haven't approached me about the needs that I have not met. Therefore, there's no need to talk. You didn't want to talk to me about the things that I didn't, that I don't fulfill in you, whether it be physically, mentally, I don't pacify you enough, I don't cook enough, whatever the case may be. Whatever your gripe is, it's important to communicate that to me first and allow me to rectify it or fuck up.
And there's also, listen, Aisha, there's also times where both parties could have tried to communicate and the other person just wasn't listening. They just wasn't hearing. They just wasn't receptive to what was trying to be communicated.
I agree.
Great point. Because how many times do we hear, I don't listen to everything. We hear women say that a lot. Who's to tell me that I should listen to you or whatever? I'm gonna hear what I want to hear. Do all women listen? Intently. Like we can always, it sounds good when we say, yeah, I listen. Yeah, I would never do this. Yeah, I won't do that. No, I would take this back. No, I will leave. Are we really doing that? Or are we just saying it to pacify ourselves? Because in the grand scheme of things, the truth never is really what we say out of our mouths. It always is the opposite. For an example, if you will leave that man for cheating on you, why you ain't leave that nigga for hitting on you?
Facts. Facts.
I'm confused. He can beat the shit out you, and you stay and say, I'm gonna give him another chance because he loves me, or he hits me.
No. In the past, it was like that's the thing.
Why can't I cheated? I fucked up. Let's say together, baby.
Look, Nell, not even if he's not hitting her, he might not even just be satisfying her. He might not be cleaning up at home. He might not be cutting the grass. They still staying. So you can't say, I'm just going to leave with one thing is not going your way.
I just don't be understanding. I just don't understand when we say things, but we really don't mean the things that we say. Gotta mean what you say. If you're going to leave, then leave. If you're going to be in the comments because it sounds good to the 20 people that you auditioning for a like of a comment, just say that. But don't then if you really going to leave off of cheating, whatever we constitute as cheating to be, then why we not leaving for everything else that's detrimental to our relationships or our health?
Right.
And see, my thing is this. As I said, younger days, I probably would have taken a lot, but older, when you get older and you've taken a lot of bull, there's just certain things you're not gonna take. I mean, like I'm not in a relationship. I'm not in a relationship where someone would cheat on me. Like I'm not living with someone, okay?
Right.
Now, if I was in a domestic relationship, living with someone, married to someone, they come home and tell me that they cheated before they talk to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could stay there because that tells me right there that you're not happy with me. You don't want me. You don't need me. I wouldn't even be mad at this point in my life. At this point in my life, I can't say younger. I wouldn't have been mad, but at this point in my life, I wouldn't even be mad because I can't get mad with you for not wanting me. I wouldn't be mad.
Are we in agreements? What's not intercourse. What's cheating? Is cheating intercourse or is cheating?
No, it's everything now.
Talking on the phone.
It's everything, man. You looked at her ass. You cheated, dog.
No,
you looked at her ass. You cheated, dog.
I want clarification what cheating is because cheating could be different to everybody. Because if you're saying cheating is conversations with the opposite sex, god damn, we all
depending on what type of conversations. But for the most part, I would say intercourse. But I mean, they're grown. Yeah, they're gonna have conversations. I mean, back in the day, like I said, that probably would have bothered me. This day and time, no. I am not naive enough to sit there and think that man is not gonna have outside friendships with the opposite sex. That part doesn't bother me. But when you go to sleeping with them, that's a totally different thing. So that tells me right there.
Cheating is just intercourse.
Well, that depends on what context everything's in. I mean, I don't know. I have to wait till it come up, but that depends on
what is the
context of conversations.
Hold on, Katie. What is the context? Because we talk about sex on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not talking about it intimately with each other.
But that's what I mean. That's all to be determined by who you're talking to. So yeah. I could be having a conversation with her about her having sex with her man, and a girl will say, "You still talking to her about sex?"
Yeah.
Again, that depends on the people and the context of it for me. That depends on the people involved. Number one, that depends on the people involved. And number two, that depends on the context of the conversation.
Or I could
Because
pull
if it's
something
an ex,
I could
if
like
it's
it,
an
and
ex,
So I can't have a conversation with my ex about sex.
not about sex. Mm-mm.
Why not? It's my ex. We had
What
sex a
what
long
y'all
time.
doing? Going down memory lane?
No, you could
I
no. It
mean
could be.
that would be my first thought as you going
That's
down
what I
memory
mean.
lane. And when you
It
go
could
down
be. It
memory
could be.
lane, you're gonna want to remember.
Look, KD, that's what I mean. It could be one of those things where you could be like, damn, remember you fell off the bed and hit your head? That don't mean that I want to
That's
fuck her tomorrow. That just means that we're talking about something that happened.
so let's look at the
I
comments. Look at
don't
the
know.
comments. Look at the
Yeah.
comments.
Look at the comments.
Comments. Look at the comments. We're getting testy. So let's go to Angela's comment. Right? She makes a comment that says cheating is anything you have to hide from your significant other. Right?
Let's
Mm-hmm.
characterize hiding. what does hiding mean?
Omitting information.
The information, having private
Yeah.
text conversations or DM
All right,
conversations
so let me ask you.
about hooking up or whatever.
Hold on. So let me ask you a question. So when y'all at work and a group is having a conversation about sex, do you go home and tell your partner?
No.
That
No.
depends on what context of the. I don't have
Nobody
anything to
does
hide.
that.
I don't
Nobody
have
does
nothing
that.
to hide, T. I'm an
Or
open book.
another
Nobody does
question.
that.
Or another question. If you out and about and you see somebody that you used to talk to, do you go home and y'all had a 10, 20-minute conversation just in passing? How y'all doing? How you been? What's going on? La da
You
da da
sound
da da.
like an
Do
ex.
you go home and tell your man you seen somebody you used to kick it with or y'all used to talk to? No. You don't. You omit that information because to
Yes,
you
that's
that's
some
not
bullshit.
important. Because you know why it's not important to you? Because you don't feel like you crossed any barriers because you didn't do a sexual act or nothing crazy happened. It was just an interaction.
Right.
Is that considered cheating? Is that
No, that's not
information that
cheating.
you admitted to your mate?
It's
That is
look.
not cheating.
It's
We
not
talked
cheating.
You
about this.
you you are
No,
trying to keep down confusion or trouble.
right. And that's the same shit.
Unnecessary
And that's the,
shit. That's
and
all.
that's the same shit that we be doing, KD. But when we do it, it's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Only if you get caught.
Yeah, if you get caught.
Don't
But
get caught.
certain things are not considered
Just don't
cheating.
mess with girls who gonna
Yeah.
mess you over. I mean, don't get caught. That's all.
So this the thing.
And if you think you're gonna get caught, then you need to go and have a conversation before the next person have a conversation with.
I think that what we're trying to get to is please don't be overly sensitive to things that when you do it, it's
Right.
glazed over or it's looked upon as it's not a big deal.
Right.
But
Well, everybody's gonna take it their own way, Neil. You know that.
if you think that we're doing it or you're suspicious of our actions, then it's a big deal. That's not consistency. Because women are really quick to say, well, if one can do it, the other can do it, or it goes both ways. So going both ways mean if you wouldn't like it, I shouldn't like it. If you wouldn't like it done to you, you shouldn't do those same things to your partner, regardless if they like it or not, because you wouldn't like how it lands on you if it came down on you, right? If you don't like people commenting on my pictures, then don't post shit out there yourself, or don't push shit out there. That's going to create a controversy. You just can't do it. It's a 50-50 type of situation. If you won't like something, don't get out there and do it.
I
If
agree
you
with you,
can't,
Neil. I
if
totally
you
agree with you on that one.
if you can't handle being in big girl panties, don't get in them. Because life is
So
life.
true.
What I might deem as being, I don't care about that shit because I'm secure within myself, and I know I got shorty, and she cool, we cool. But if you ain't got that same mentality as me, then you can't do that type of shit. Because you're not built
Mhm.
for that. Everybody is built for something different. That's
That's
why
so true.
conversations need to be had. If you sit me down and say, yo, I'm overly jealous.
Right.
I'm not saying me. I'm just saying if my woman sit me down or somebody a prospect sits me down and say, yo, I'm overly jealous. You know what she doing? She being honest and real with herself. I like that. Because now I know how to approach the situation.
Right.
But don't come at like, oh shit, don't bother you. You the strongest person in the world. You pop out of Spider-Man, Sailor Man when you got finished. You know why? Because I'm gonna only match your energy. If you saying you cool, you outside, as people say, then be outside. I told you that being outside don't mean you went to Target. Being outside mean you with the shits. So what I'm saying is, if you don't want your partner doing this, don't you dare do it either. Because
And
it's
that's true. That is true.
Answer the shit that you don't have to answer to because I don't care about that. Because I'm secure
That
with
is so true.
So I'm not going to bring that drama to you. If you feel like you need to bring that drama to me, you need to hold up and see what the fuck you done did all week on a social and see if your behavior align with what you want my behavior to be like. 50-50.
Right.
It ain't 50-50 no more. Everything should be a beam. Everything should be done at 100%. Because 50-50 means is room for error. 50% error, 50% perfection. So let's do things the right way. Let's have those conversations, regardless if they tough or not. If they're gonna make us feel some type of way inside, you know why? Because you're doing yourself a justice when you understand what you've gotten yourself into. It's pretty hard to flip the script in the middle of the situation, right? Tell a person from the gate, yo, I don't like it when you do that. And when you do that to me, this is how it makes me. Why? Because you can refer back and say, now that you see how you see what you did, you see how you was acting. Now you see how it triggered me into acting as a gorilla. Right. You understand why? I told you.
Well, I guess they should have. I mean, they should know each other by then, Nell, if they get into it that deep.
No,
you wouldn't know what they want or don't want.
You know why you'll never know completely? Because we change so often. We change every day based upon our environment, our learnings, our teaching, the things that happened to us day before. You should be getting better, right? You should be learning. So something that may have landed on me and it may have caused me some heartache or pain once, I'm now susceptible to it because I felt it. I lived with it. I'm able to get over it quicker. Or if I truly didn't like it and it took me down and tore me down, I don't know how, I might not know how to come about that real quick. So you should always be able to have a conversation with your mate. Sit down. Even if they're not the easiest person to talk to them in their language. Don't talk to them in your language. Talk to them in their language so they can understand you and then you can understand them.
Well, they won't understand you if you're talking in their language. I mean, I do agree with you to a certain point. I do agree with you to a certain extent. But they do need to have a conversation. But you cannot expect that person to feel the way you want them to feel.
You can't.
Right. You each got your own feelings.
You can't. But who gets upset? Right. Who gets upset more when a person don't feel the same way that they feel? A woman.
You waiting, ladies?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say all that. I think the man. I really think the man do.
Okay.
But when you think, look, let me ask, so when you think that we're not showing you enough attention or we're not doing the thing that you want us to do, what do? You get emotional. You get in your feelings.
No, we come to you and talk the way you say you need to talk and let you know what's going on.
Do you come to us or do you come to us emotional with you don't do this, you're not doing that, an accusatory, or do you come to me, baby, I need to talk to you because I have some issues on my heart that I need to get off? No, that's how you're supposed to be emotional. You come to me an emotional wreck because your emotions are skewed right at that moment. So yes, you might come to me, but you coming to me with indirect shots. You're throwing indirect shots at me.
Look, Nell, I'm gonna tell you how this plays out. I had a conversation where I laid out the shit that I needed and wanted, right? And then instead of being able to have that conversation, it turned into she started being defensive. So then it goes from her being defensive to an argument where where my point was for us to just be able to talk about the things that I needed and wanted and the things that you needed and wanted. But from the gate, the emotions, those female emotions kicked in, and it became defensive. Like, well, what am I not enough? It's like, whoa. Ain't nobody doing all of that. Like, just speak, people.
I agree. Or when you're talking to somebody who's a strong value person and who carries and is true to themselves, sometimes their strongness comes out in their conversation. It portrays in their voice. And when a person is passionate about something, a person will deem that as being, oh, you're attacking me. No, right. I'm speaking on something that matters to me.
Right.
You might want to listen. I care enough about you to have this type of conversation. I do. Because if I didn't care, I would just say to hell with it. But if I'm talking to you and telling you something, listen, take the emotion out of it, please. Because emotions gets us nowhere. Take the emotion out of it and truly open up your heart and open up your mind to understand exactly what's being said to you. Right? I'm not going to be a pussycat. That's not what you want me to be. You don't need me to be that. I'm not going to be teddy bear and golden grams. I'm going to be.
But now now you can't tell everybody that because women want that.
But when we having a conversation and I'm telling you what I need, if I'm coming to you softly, how you respecting me for me needing to be what I am when I need you to be what I need you to be when I am. Right. You can't tell me to come to you soft or come to you unlike myself to dumb it down for you. That's not the real me.
Right.
So if you want the real me, take the real me. Understand the real me. Digest the real me. Don't tell me to dumb it down because you want to be validated or you want to be whatever. Cool. In the grand scheme of things, hopefully in the conversation, what we do is we outline the problem. Right. And then the conversation slowly and gradually moves to how do we fix it? Right. Not keep poking the bear. Right.
Well, see, again, that depends on each individual. See, now me personally, I drown out when shouting starts. I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing else. I go blank.
You know the best way to ground. You know how the best way to stop a person that's aggressive? Agree with them. Right. Because it throws them off. Not agree. You don't have to agree to just to pacify them. Agree with a point that they might have made. You know what, honey? You're right. You know what they do? At that moment, they like, damn, she's listening. Let me take my optics down a little bit lower.
Hold on. I want to address something in this. So, Cynthia said she did any and everything with her husband, and that still wasn't enough. And I just want to say that sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes that happens. That's a part of life. Like, that's a part. It's harsh and it may hurt your feelings, but that's a part of life. Sometimes that happens. You have to enjoy it for what it was. That's all that is.
And Cynthia, remember this always. What you did for him was not enough, but that was for him. He had outgrown whatever it was y'all had. I had to come to terms with that after 34 years of being married. I was not upset because I had to come to terms. We outgrew each other. People will outgrow each other. So where I wasn't enough for him, I know the next person I could be enough for. I mean, I'm not gonna don't condemn yourself because of one man's opinion.
Right.
Don't condemn yourself.
Ebony, really now? No, really? Yes, Ebony.
They mad at you now.
Ebony, you know what? One thing I'm always gonna say, and I've been saying this ever since the old situation that we had, right? The Sunday, what was that? The Sunday, I don't even remember the name of that show. But no shade. What I always would say is everything that comes out of my mouth are my views. And these are things that I take personally within myself, right? Is everything always being instituted? No. Am I always perfect in my execution? No. But when you come to understand how it is that you want to be treated, who you are as a person, you can live in your truth, right? So what that means is what works with me may not work for the other man. Right. But if we sit down and we converse on a level, even if it starts out as hurtful and harmful for both of us, the ultimate goal should always be we should be able to, we can start here, but we can finish over here and finish with a solution. Far too often when we're arguing, when we have these disagreements or arguments, it starts off as a war and it ends as the same way, with other parties just saying, fuck it, I'm out, fuck it, I don't care. Names are being called and nothing is ever accomplished. We gotta cut the cord. We gotta realize what's the ultimate goal here. We love each other, we're together for a reason. Figure it out. Figure it out. That's basically what I'm saying. In a nutshell, at the end of the day, we both can get our points across, but isn't the ultimate goal harmony? For both of us to be able to coexist, get what we want, and still and live together harmoniously. That's what keeps relationships going. Not this every time something goes wrong, I'm ready to turn my back. Not every time something is not the way we want it to, I'm ready to throw my hands up. Not every time there's a situation that doesn't hit us the way we want it to, do I always got to exude myself and make a mockery out of what we have. That's the reason why things are not the way they should be nowadays in relationship. We live in this microwave era. We throw everything in the microwave and want a full course. We want a Thanksgiving meal. It ain't working like that. That hungry man dinner ain't hitting the same way Thanksgiving dinner hits. And the only way to do that, to have that kind of feast,
that's where conversations come in at.
Is to prepare it.
That's where the conversations come in at for everybody.
So why y'all so quick to say y'all don't want to converse?
This is hilarious.
No, I totally agree. You need to conversate. And y'all can't say that women don't want to conversate. Hell, we want to talk. That's all we want to do is talk.
This ain't even about men.
KD, that's not true, KD. Y'all want to talk when y'all want to talk. Y'all don't always want to talk. Y'all want to talk when y'all want to talk.
Yes, we do.
And y'all want to talk about what y'all want to talk about. Y'all don't always want to talk. Don't sit. Don't
so.
about that.
Or you know what? You know what burns up when they say, I just called to talk to you, right? Then you call them back on the phone and they just breathing. Or they saying, well, what's up? The fuck? You just said you wanted to talk. Well, I did want to talk. What's up? Well, why you gotta say it like that? Even evidently, you don't know what you want to talk about, or you don't know how to get it off. Just get it off. Stop this collusion. Because what you're doing is you're creating a pit.
Well, do you feed them something to talk about now? I mean, are you nurturing the conversation?
But if you text me and say
you wanted to
call me and text me and say I just called you because I wanted to talk.
You said you wanted to talk, but now I have to nurture the conversation. You the one that said you wanted to talk.
Yes.
Well, more than likely you should know what they want to talk about. I mean, you should have an idea.
All right, so
if y'all are together, you should have an idea.
You know what? I'm KD. I'm a smart bastard. You call me and you ask and you expected me to know what you're talking about. You know when I'm gonna start the conversation off? Did you see James Harden tonight?
Yeah.
You gonna be like, who are you talking about? That's what I want to talk about. That's the conversation I got going on. Right. Do you know what color the Jordans are coming out tomorrow? What time? I'll be oblivious to what be on your mind until you tell me.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask everybody a question. What do y'all think is the main reason for cheating?
Non-communication. I mean, you just grow apart. You don't have anything. I mean, if you don't communicate, you're not gonna grow. Plain and simple.
What's your answer, Aisha?
I think it's definitely a disconnect somewhere, whether it's sexually, whether it's mentally, whether it's financially. There is so many things that could cause the disconnect for cheating. If someone's lacking in any area, that's when it's going to happen the most. And if it's not communicated, so back to the communication, if it's not communicated, then that's where cheating is going to come in.
What's your answer now? I'll go if you're not ready.
Because they wanted to.
I'll go if you're not ready now. Listen.
Because they wanted to.
The main reason for cheating is that one party or both parties stop being who they truly are. I can't be my true self with you. That's what that is. I need to be able to be my true self with you, and you need to be able to be your true self with me. So if that's not happening, then that's how you grow apart.
Now, T, you hit the nail on the head right there.
That's real.
I gotta say, you did.
Yeah,
that's real right there. Because if you can't be real, then you're never gonna be comfortable.
Look, Angela said some people have a high sex drive and it's hard for them to get satisfied. It's not hard. I have a high sex drive. It's not hard for me to get satisfied. It's just that I need to be with somebody who has a high sex drive. And a lot of times women, they fake the funk on the high sex drive and they have that in the beginning and then it starts being emotional and then it starts being like, oh, I feel this and this and that. It's like, yo, we was having sex. What are you talking about? What the fuck?
But yo, even if you do got a high sex drive, yo, like that ain't, it's cool, but is that life? Is that all what life is to it? Just being sexual? Because what happens if something happens to your sexual situation and you gotta adjust?
Right.
Do that mean you going out here and fornicating? Like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna holler at the honey spot. Raw honey. Get you a situation from Raw Honey. Now you and your man can take a course from one of the trained specialists at Raw Honey, and y'all can learn how to please each other in that high sexual state. And sometimes I might not feel like it, but if I know how to please you, then I'm always gonna be able to please you. Raw Honey got that. You know what I mean? Or if we smart enough, we can understand.
Hold on now. I could dispel this. I could dispel this real quick. To a man, a high sex drive is always thinking about or wanting to, engage in sex. To a woman, it could be she just likes to get fucked. That don't mean that she's a freak. That just means that sometimes she likes to get fucked. See, as a man, I can wake up and in my brain, I already have like my work shit, my kids. I already have that shit done. So when I wake up, I'm thinking about, did I have sex this morning? Did I have sex last night? Can I have sex today? That's what
I disagree, T. I want to challenge that what you just said about the high sex drive. I don't think that it's a woman who just want to get fucked, as you can say. Right. You can have a high sex drive and just want it from your man. I mean, you don't have to just want it from anybody. But you say just
I'm not saying it from anybody. I'm saying you just want to get fucked by your man. That don't mean you have a high sex drive. That don't mean you have a high sex drive.
No, I'm saying that you can still have a high sex drive. I mean, I understand what Angela is saying. Some women have a high sex drive.
KD, some women do have a sex drive, but what I mean is some women will just lay there and get fucked. And that's what they like. That don't make them a freak. That don't mean they have a high sex drive. There's a difference.
That's true. That's true.
What are we doing?
A high sex drive. What are we talking about?
Don't get me upset.
Well, now a lot of women got high sex
drive. But even if let's say something happens to your mate, y'all both had high sex drive at the time. What happens to your mate? Something happened to him. You pose it. What, you want to skip town because something happened to him? I thought it was for better or for worse. I thought it was for.
Well, that's when they get that. That's when they go to Raw Honey. That's when they go to Raw Honey.
Raw Honey. They're not really going to Raw Honey. You know what they doing? They sulking and they mad because you ain't the same as you was when they first met. Things change and people don't change with the times. They stuck in this when we first met shit. Right? They live in this fantasy instead of growing instead of maturing with the times. It's cool That's all good. No, I'm not saying, and this ain't intended for nobody. I'm just saying, at times you gotta be able to maneuver through the times. You got to. If you don't, you get left behind. If not, you be upset. If not, you feel like something is missing. Like ladies, like you ain't gotta always get dialed up and do and be what's that? Like you ain't always a facade don't always gotta be like you ugly. Like I just
hold on now. Hold on now. Let's see what Ebony says. She says
Ebony on us tonight. Ebony do not like me.
She says cheating is childish, irresponsible, and a show of lack of care and consideration. Let me ask everybody on the panel this real quick. Have you ever been irresponsible?
Hell yeah, they've been.
Everybody has been irresponsible at some point.
Have you ever showed a lack of consideration to somebody?
Maybe not intentionally, but yeah. I'm quite sure we all have.
All right, then what are we talking about? That's human nature.
Your mate should not do it. It's what she's saying. Your husband, your spouse should not do it.
Right, but does it happen, Katie, is my question.
It
happens. It's human nature.
Exactly. And as what we said before, and this is saying before, things happen. And if we're mature enough to be able to move past it, if we are committed enough to each other to see each other through a difficult time, if we're mature enough to be able to say, all right, that was a blimp on that radar, let's do things differently, then you're winning. But stop always saying that you are going to leave until that situation hits you in the face. Because that situation, we always going to say what we would do until we are faced with that situation. Right? You never know what you're going to do until you are actually in that. And at that moment, you have to make the determination if you are willing to stay or if you're willing to go.
And I do agree with you, Nell. I do agree. You don't know what you would do until you're in that situation.
And please, people, let's stop giving advice of leaving. Like, why is that always the case? Like, we always so quick to tell somebody, why don't you leave? But
but now at this stage and point in my life, hell yeah, I'm set. I ain't got another year to waste.
Another person, you should leave. He cheated on you, should leave. But y'all own homes be super, super dirty. We'll tell a person quick in a hurry, girl, you should leave him. But you go home, you go to Roscoe. Roscoe got way more problems than what she and her man got going on. But we so quick to tell somebody, walk away, leave. You shouldn't be in that, girl. You better than that. But be in worse situations. What one person will do, don't got nothing to do with you. You dig?
Aisha, let's hear from you. You're the only one that's quiet.
Yeah, I'm quiet. I just love listening to you guys and just getting different point of views. You know, a lot of my views sometimes are skewed in a sense, but you know, as for me, I think spiritual connection is really important in any relationship. I feel like outside of sex, outside of the general things that we have relationships for, you know, sexual companionship, financial stability, growth, family, building, etc. I think those things only stand firm if you have a spiritual connection with someone, because if you have a spiritual connection with someone, then when the sex is not able to be had, you guys are working together to fulfill each other. Okay, so when the finances are not strong, you guys are still held together by a different level of connection outside of just the surface things that, you know, happen. So yeah, communication is good, and we can touch on the things that we have problems about, but that could also fade as well. So sometimes the communication, me communicating to you my feelings, you might not necessarily be on that no more. You see what I'm saying? And then you ready to roll. So I feel like the spiritual connection for individuals, when these changes come, the being spiritually connected is important, and it helps you through the things that, you know, are troublesome.
Do y'all feel like
hold on now. Hold on now. I need to see what Barb's talking about.
All right.
So Barb said if somebody cheated the first time they forgiven, how do you know they won't do it again? You don't know, Barb. You don't know. You making a
You
conscious
don't
choice.
know.
You make a conscious choice to still stay there or leave. You making a choice to stay there or leave. You don't know. But the one thing you can do is ask him or ask her why they cheated, and y'all can work on what the problem is. If you don't work on what the problem is, then yeah, it probably will happen again. How about we just start working on these problems? How about we do that?
Do y'all think what's the consensus of the panel? Do y'all think we put too much emphasis on what a man should be and what shouldn't be?
What you mean?
Like men have a lot of responsibilities in this world, right? We're told we're supposed to be protectors, providers. We're supposed to be the next thing next to Jesus. We're supposed to be a number of different things, but is that energy being matched by our significant other?
It should be.
We know it should be, but is that the case?
Oh, absolutely not. Not always.
Well, not in every case.
Not in every case, no. But I mean, that's important for each party, man and woman, to, I guess they need to first identify where they lack.
Right.
And be open and honest to say, you know what?
That's the problem right there, Aisha. That people don't want to admit to where they lack at. They don't want to.
And
no one likes to admit they're wrong. No one likes to admit they're wrong.
Yeah, you're right. And I used to be like that. I'm getting better with time because I used to be like that where I did not want to admit my faults. Like I did not want to admit my shortcomings or the things that I did that were irritable to, my partner or whatever the case may be. Like I did not want to just take a second and step back and say, you know what? He does have a point. Let me just kind of chill a little bit and see it from his point of view. And then maybe we can come to an amicable resolution to this disagreement or whatever the case may be. So I think it's important for both parties to acknowledge their faults, not always to point the finger, but then to say, well, wait a minute, let me take a step back. What did I do wrong in this situation? Right. And maybe that can help the communication a little bit.
People in the audience, this is the last point that we're going to make before we wrap up, or the last question that we're going to ask before we wrap up. How many of y'all have reached out to your significant other and actually asked them the pertinent question of, what is it that I do right or wrong? Or what is it that you could see more in this relationship that could help us grow further?
Hey, Nell, can you say that one more time for the people in the back? Say that one more time for the people in the back.
The people in the comments, how many of y'all have reached out to your partners and asked them this very important question? What is it that I've done, that I do right or wrong in this relationship that may be stunning our growth or helping us to continue to move forward? That's a great question.
I used to ask mine there all the time. Yeah, I used to ask.
Let's go, people.
Great question now. Great question. I
did. I had that talk with my ex.
It's so important.
I think that's a talk that shouldn't be asked once just to cover. Right. That's a question that honestly could be asked on multiple occasions or even a couple of times a week or a month. And it doesn't always have to be generic, like, baby, what am I doing wrong this week? Baby, what did I do right this week? No. It's
but do the man ask the woman that? Should they ask the female that?
Hold on. I just told you, Katie, that I did that, and I got the defense mechanism came up, and then I got into an argument. So I do that.
Yeah. Or right. You can ask your mate that. And the first thing, and this is not to throw nobody under the bus. This is not to shame women or anything like that. But how many of us are listening to our mate, to listen intently with the understanding of this is love. This ain't a beat up session. This ain't a session to make me feel less than myself. This is a honest conversation with the person I'm laying down with, the person I say I love, and the person I'm in love with. we can have an honest, open conversation and not it be defensive. Right. The moment you go into something defensive, when is the outcome ever positive? Because you're looking for negatives. Never. You're pulling negatives from the conversation. Right? When he says something or she says something, you're waiting to hear the pin drop. You're looking for that hot topic, that hot quote, so you can use that as a narrative to run with. When are we actually opening our minds up to say, I'm willing to listen because this is going to make us better? We should do that. We shouldn't turn our lips up. We shouldn't roll our eyes. We shouldn't, because what we're doing is we're doing a disservice to ourselves, and we're opening the door for someone or something to walk through it. Negativity, another person.
All right. Now this is the consistency of what they're saying in the comments of when that happens. So a lot of people are saying they tried that and it's either getting ignored or avoided. So in that answer, you have to say, you personally, you have to, take the initiative. Do you want to push this forward or do you want to bust a move? You have to decide in your brain. You did your part, is what I'm saying. You did your part by communicating or trying to communicate and trying to have a conversation. So it's up to you how you move forward, whether you want to still try to work it out, whether you want to bust a move, whatever you want to do. Sometimes you do have a conversation and it ends up being one-sided, and then you just have to, decide what you want to do.
Or what about this?
Try. As long as you can say you tried, that's all you can do. Or
what about this, right? Because the first thing that what's the first thing that happens to us when something goes wrong with us? We built up this defense mechanism, or we built up this immunity, so when it happens to us again, we're kind of shielded and guarded, right? How many times have you tried to have a communication? You wanted to talk to your mate, and you started off with the negativity. Right. What happens? What happens? It's like putting your hand on the fire. You burnt yourself once, so you know how that feels. So every time that goes to happen, you're going to pull your hand back a little bit. You're going to be a little nervous. So that other person might be shell-shocked based upon your experiences with that word conversation. So it may not transpire at the first case, but you got to continue to keep working on it and letting them know this is not a beat-up session. This is a session to make us better. And at the end of that, you get beat up, not physically, but sexually. You get what you want. It's happy times around here.
Makeup sex.
It's free.
Makeup sex.
Not even that.
I hear it's good. I don't know personally, but I hear that's the best you can have. Personally, I don't know.
We got to wrap up. But I just want to say that we did lose 1 point on this topic, and the 1 point that we didn't address is there a money amount to where people think that they should be able to do whatever they want to do?
No, hell no. Broke as shit.
So we shouldn't do what they want to do. Yeah.
I don't care about no look. I come from nothing.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, how, if it's a basketball player, whatever, at that amount of money, they look at it like they should be afforded these options. So what's your thoughts on that?
That I can't answer.
Oh, you're saying if they make the money that they should be able to cheat?
Right. This is a real thing.
Hell no, I don't care who it is.
Katie, this is a real thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
For some people, it is. I mean, and if that's what they accept, then that's what they accept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's. Go ahead.
At this point in my life, there's certain energies that I need to be matched. I've worked too hard to build me up to where I'm at. I just won't settle for thing.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate that.
If that can't be understood, then you're not the right person for me or for yourself. Because you have to realize what value I'm bringing to my own life. What value I bring to your life. And if the value that you bring to your life and my life, it don't got to match, because everything ain't always going to be equal on certain things, but you got to do something. You can't just be a pretty face. You can't just say I cook good. You can't just say I clean some couple clothes. I was taught that at 10 years old, how to cook, how to clean, right? So I need more than just sex. I need more than just a cute face. I need more than just a social media, celebrity. I need you to be what you need to be to yourself, which is going to help add to value to my life the same way I'm adding value to your life. And once and that, we live good.
No, the problem becomes where people forgot. Like, we had a conversation about courting, but it's not even a conversation about courting. It's a conversation about people are now being too busy for intimacy. That's where everybody's getting lost. People are being too busy for intimacy with their mates. So that's why people are being disconnected, because they're not having that intimacy with their mate, meaning more than
Now I
sex.
do agree to you gotta
I
have
agree.
that intimacy to keep it close.
Yes, so true.
All right, people.
Mhm.
I got a quick ideology to rip. I got a quick ideology to rip.
I'm a corporate of that, actually. Being
You
too
go
busy.
for that?
You gotta be real with your shit. Like, you know why? Because the world tells you that you gotta be successful. You gotta have something.
That's what I mean.
In order to be something.
Bag, you ain't taking care of home.
Exactly. So I gotta take care of home, because if I don't, then I ain't good enough there at that point, right? I could be good dick, but you ain't got nothing else going on with you. So you got it's so imbalanced. The plight of a man, right? We gotta be everything and still be that.
I'm not gonna let you just put that on the men now. That goes on both sides, man.
Do it really?
Yeah, it does.
Do it really? Are we holding each other accountable for being exactly what we all need? Are we doing that? Or
We're not doing it.
Do we always have to be what? Like, are we always having to be the provider, the protector, the lover? And when we fall short in those areas, there's nobody to help pick us up. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is not, but when the downfall